Okay, so today I wanted to check out the Naniwa Gouken Kagiyaki, which is just another word for the superstones. I have them in stock in 10mm stones, which is a bit thin, but I just wanted them to give them a test. And today I'm going to do a test run. I'll be going through the 220 grit, the 1000 grit, 5000 and 8000 grit. I wouldn't usually go through 4 stones in a sharpening, but today I just wanted to get my hands on them, just put my knife to them, just to see what they're made of and how they work. Usually I just go for, like 1000 or 5000 or 8000, depending on what kind of polish I wanted. The knife I'll be using today is my kiritsuke Bunka. It's a carbon steel blue number 2 made by Musashi. Quite like it, although it didn't come with the edge I wanted on it. But that's a quick fix if you have some good stones to work on. So we will just do the usual. Just going to ruin that edge a little bit so we have something to work on. There's no use to sharpen an already sharp knife. Let's get the old newspaper. Still got a little bite to it. Just going to give it a few strokes on the flat side of this old stone I have. Let's try again. Just do, yeah. I guess that's bad enough. So the Naniwa Superstones, they are softer than the professional stones and the Choceras. At least they're supposed to be. Guess we'll find out soon enough. They should be splash and go, and it looks like they are, at least this one. This looks good, and well, let's just go at it. Immediate reaction or impression is that it's, for a 220 grit, feels smooth, but still looks like it's removing material. Yeah, we are removing material, all right. Maybe at a bit slower pace than I wanted, but we got a burr on there already. Yeah, well, it may not look like it, but it's a fast stone. Kind of what you'd expect at 220 grit, but it doesn't feel like a fast stone. Let me do. Sorry about that. And just another one on this side. Okay, I guess I could increase the pressure a little bit, but I don't want to. I'd rather do a couple of extra passes with a bit less pressure, because there is less risk of ruining your beautiful knife. Pull this back a little bit. So I haven't added any water to this yet. Looks like it's holding the water very well on the top. So it's not thirsty, it's not taking in. Do 3 this time. 3, at the edge. We have the burr. And do a couple of alternating strokes. Like that. And we'll try to pinch off the burr on the stone. Usually I just go straight for the strop. Don't I have any paper? Oh, there we are. Just have to wipe off the knife first. Let's see what we have here. Yep. It's better. It's decent. Oh, unlucky with that one. Somewhat push cut. Straight off a 220 grit. Now to look at the stone, it doesn't look like it has loaded up anything at all. Go over it with the old rust eraser, but the stone looks good. So for the 220 grit, I'd say I'm quite happy. That is a fun stone to work on. Just put it to the side. Now for the 1000 grit. Let's see, I just got off the King 1000, which has very good feedback. And I'm excited to see what this will do. It also holds its water on the top. That is good. So let's just get right back at it. At this time, the edge is already set. The apex is where it's supposed to be. So I could just do, a lapping strokes here, but I really wanted to get the feel for the stone, so I'm going to work a bit on it anyway. Do a few proper passes to see what happens to the steel and to the knife. It's no surprise that the burr is coming very fast. That's because it's already ready. But I want to see what the stone does now. And it looks like it's removing a lot of material. It kind of looks like it's loading up a bit. I don't know if you can see. I'll do a few more passes just to see if it keeps cutting like it does, or if it slows down a little bit. So it's still cutting, but it's loading up a little bit. Remove that. Prefer the feedback on the King. This feels a little bit too smooth for my liking. This is what I'd want on a polishing stone. This kind of feedback. I like on the lower grit, on the medium grit. I really want to, I really want to feel what I'm doing. Just do a couple more. The edge trailing, and a few edge leading strokes, so we don't have to use the strop for the video. Wipe off the knife, and let's get another newspaper. Try to keep it from getting wet. A very good edge of the 1000K, if I say so myself. I don't think it's hair popping, but not in mid-air at least. Still shaved with that, I think. Here you can see that the stone is a bit softer. You can see the like the color rubbing off while you're doing this. Not too much though. So 1000 gets a pass. Also a fun stone to work on. Bit thin though. Might include some of the a little bit larger stones on the next shipment. So now over to the polishing stones. And Naniwa loves their polishing stones. I love them as well, so I have high expectations. I like soft stones as well, so this should be good. We might need to be careful so we don't cut into the stone. So I'm going to do as I did with the 1000. I could just go for the stropping motions and just that'd be it, but I want to see what this stone does as well. And it feels obviously a little bit finer than the 1K immediately, which is what you would expect. It looks like it's loading up a bit, but we'll keep on working to see if that's a bad thing. Because right now we only want to polish and refine the what you call it? No, the cutting part of the blade. We are not necessarily wanting to remove as much material as you would on 1000K. Still got some friction, but it doesn't look like we are removing much. Let's try removing some of the metal. Yeah, so it's definitely cutting more now than what it just was. So that's something one should take into consideration when getting this stone. I believe it will be a great stone for something smaller, you know, like a eraser. I like the shine I have on the edge now. I would wouldn't quite call it a mirror polish, but it is nice. That's just personal preference. Now I'm just I think I'm gonna leave it at that for this. Got you page from the newspaper. Yeah. It's definitely better than the 1K. That is basically good to go as it is. But just gonna clean this off and we'll have a look at the 8K as well of the Naniwa Kagiyaki. No, the Naniwa Gouken Kagiyaki, which is the domestic superstone. So the export model of this stone is called the superstone, while in Japan it's called the Gouken Kagiyaki. And you'll have the Gouken Arata, which would be the professional stone. Yeah, and as you'd expect, oh, actually looks like it's drawing in some water there. That looks all right, and we'll just go at it. And based on the other stones, I would expect this to behave in a similar way. So we're just going to do a few light passes on each side. Almost feels like it's got some more friction on it than the 5K. While still feeling very fine. You can see it's loading up a little bit as well. Let's just see if this does anything for us. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's my coffee machine. Yeah, works faster, feels better when it's not loaded up with metal. And that, my friends, is a mirror polish. Let's try with newspaper. Yeah. Oh, did I miss? This is my bad. Just for funsies, we're going for just a couple of strokes on the strop. That always works miracles, doesn't it? Oh yeah. So that's it. That's the Naniwa Superstones, the Gouken Kagiyaki, a carbon steel knife, some loading up on a couple of the stones, but not that much that it's a problem. I recommend you get a rust eraser. These are gold, as you saw. And yeah, of course, as with carbon knives, it's important to clean your stones because you don't want them to rust up and that'll just be a mess. So I'll get this knife cleaned up and get the stones cleaned up, and I'll see you guys in another video.